As you can see here, this is people at work. Just average churchmen preparing the bulletin for next week.
I'm here doing nothing. What do you want me to do?
I am going...
No, I can't supervise that.
That is the bulletin right there.
Yeah, send them. Oh, go down that way.
Taping's at that taping station's to your left.
Oh, I guess that's what you're doing. Yeah.
As you can see here, this is where the acolyte robes are kept. These red ones and the blue ones here, as well as this fancy green one here, as you can see here, haven't been used in a very long time. Except for the white ones, of course, those have actually been used. I am going to give all my viewers on my blog a little bit of a tour, if you will, of a church. This here is the church sanctuary. Me personally, I'm an acolyte, which means sometimes I'll be wearing those white robes you saw there, and I'll be carrying this cross here down the aisles you see there. Part of my job also is carrying, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Part of my job also was lighting these candles here. One of my favorite parts of church every day, even when I'm not acolyte scheduled, is staring in the pews at this nice piece of artwork here. Very impressive piece of artwork here. It's, I do say, however, it's, this is, however, a very old painting. However, I think since the church founding, it's a bit of a copy of a painting, medieval painting of Christ. I think churches have been copying that painting ever since, I think since the Middle Ages especially. The pastor, when she's not talking, will be sitting here in this chair, of course. So let's say if I were the pastor, for example, I'll sit down in this chair, for example, and I'll just sit down here, for example, and I'll probably wait here, ready to speak my piece, and then the pastor will get up, and she'll get right here to this little altar here, or whatever you call it, and she'll get up and speak in front of the congregation right here. I'm not sure how many churches or new churches are doing this, but most of the churches I've been to, at least the old ones, still have church organs do it. Whoops. I just dropped my bread. Now, me personally, I don't know how to play an organ for the life of me, but for comedic purposes, let's see how I do here. Okay, clearly this is electronic and I don't quite understand how this works. Here we go. Not that I'm inclined to give his name out without permission, but the church organist apparently has this thing turned off. And here we go. Here's one of my favorite hymns, actually, that we were playing just last week, I think. It's called We All Gather at the River. It's a very beautiful hymn, actually. This here is baptismal water. So if anyone needed to be baptized or just felt like they wanted to do the whole Catholic thing where they dip their finger into some water and put it to their forehead sort of thing, that's what this is here for. And I mean, not that we're a Catholic church or anything, but still, you can as long as you don't do something stupid with the holy water, you can pretty much use it for anything. I am going to tell you who our church is named after, believe it or not. Our church is named Cross of Christ Lutheran Church. Our church is newly formed out of two different churches. It's a merger named from First Lutheran and Zion Lutheran. Not going to go into the details as to why we merged, because I don't feel that's important. Any number of reasons why a church would merge. But as far as why we have the name Lutheran in our church, here we go. Oh, wait a minute, it's too dark in here, hold on a minute. Hold on. Here you go. Our church has the name Lutheran Church in it because our church is named after a guy named Martin Luther who wrote the 95 Theses. And here, as you can see, I'll give a close-up of his head right there, is a guy, the man himself, Martin Luther, who lived in the 1500s and wrote the 95 Theses, who essentially kick-started the Protestant Reformation. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta... If you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our tour, and good night.